Yo, what's up guys? So here I am going to shoot you today our video walking through our Inbody sheets, everything that you need to know and what's important on it, because I know it's a fairly detailed sheet. And then as well as that, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through setting some realistic goals for next year so we can really come out not only this lockdown but this year stronger, fitter and leaner than ever. Alright, so you'll need a wee bit of time to pay attention to this video guys, so don't watch it with the TV on in the background. Go take your Inbody sheet, take another blank bit of paper somewhere where you can record some notes, spend a wee bit of time with this guys, okay, because this is going to be super important that we get this done running into the new year. Okay, so look, if you take a look at your Inbody sheet, right, I've done a very messy diagram of it up here, basically highlighting the most important things. What I'm going to do is I always want you to be looking at your sheet as in if it's half, so you've got a left side and a right side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the left hand side of it first, then we're going to move into the right hand side, okay? So look, first thing I want you to cast your eye over, it's about a quarter of the way down and it's in 3 different sections. It's your muscle fat analysis guys, right? So have a wee look at that on your sheet, right? So this typically then at the top we have your weight, which is basically just what you weigh in pounds, okay? The next bit is your skeletal muscle mass, so basically how much muscle tissue that your body has, and then the bottom here is your body fat mass, right? So you will see on your sheet, I'm doing a very good job of trying to balance this, I'll actually move over here. On your sheet, there will be almost arrows, okay, that run with each, okay? So typically how most people would start with us guys, alright, or most people that are maybe out of shape or haven't trained in a while or just maybe aren't paying proper attention to activity levels, things like that, there's almost 3 different stages of this, okay? So the first stage is what we would say is your C shape, okay? So a C shape is kind of what I've formed here, and this is typically where your weight and your body fat mass outweighs your skeletal muscle mass, okay? So this is where we form the shape of a C, okay? So this is basically the first kind of stage where we would look at an Inbody, almost looking like, right, okay, weight's a wee bit too high, muscle mass is too low, and the body fat mass is definitely too high, okay? So guys, if your sheet is looking a wee bit like this, don't panic. You've now found out where your starting point is, and now we need you to move towards the next stage of the shapes that we have going here, okay? So basically the goal for this is, guys, that next of all, get the weight down, get the muscle mass up, and then get the body fat mass down as well, okay? So as that starts to happen, okay, what you'll start to notice is that you're going to develop more of an I shape. So it's becoming a straight line, and that's basically where our weight, our muscle mass, and our body fat mass are all becoming in line with each other. Now, after this is how you know you're on the right path, okay? After this is the next stage, and this is for a lot of you guys that are saying, well, I just want to look toned, or I don't want to lose any more weight, I just want to tone up. So basically your image of how someone looks toned, like somebody on a beach, or somebody on a holiday, or somebody looking well in an item of clothes, this is basically, toning is essentially, guys, and girls hate this word, is essentially having more muscle mass than you do body fat, okay? So the third and final stage of your Inbody shape that you eventually want to form is when it basically becomes a D shape, okay? And this is essentially where we've got more skeletal muscle mass than we do weight in pounds and body fat mass. And this is when it starts to form the shape of a D. So this is when you know you're on the right road, okay guys? So look, don't worry exactly what stage you're at now in terms of what shape you're at. The idea is now for you to have a rough idea of where your shape is at and what you need to do to get to the next stage. Okay, folks? So, I'm going to try and balance this now and then work my way back over here. So, that's the first bit, guys, alright? So, the next bit you will see below the muscle fat analysis, you'll see your obesity analysis, okay, guys? So, there's 2 different sections to that there. The first section I'm never crazy on is your BMI. BMI is a really old way of doing things, so to be honest, don't take that into consideration. What I do want to see though is the body fat percentage, guys, okay? And what you'll see there is basically what's normal for your height, weight, age, all that kind of stuff, what's under, and then what's over, okay? So if your body fat is in the stage of the over section, that's how we know that it's time to start getting that down. Again, I don't want you to panic, guys. This is the perfect time for us to give a good idea of where we are at and what we need to do to get to the next stage. So don't panic if your body fat is sitting over. All we need to know now is that we need to get that number down. Okay, guys? So you'll have a rough idea of where your body fat is, and then what I'm going to do further on in this video is I'm going to talk to you about realistic expectations for getting body fat levels down and what sort of time frame you'd expect it to go down in. Right, so we'll move to the right hand side of the page, guys. Top right hand corner, you're going to have your in-body score. Now, of course, guys, this is going to be completely different depending on the person that's doing it. I've done some scores where people are in the 90s. I've done some scores where people are only in the 30s. Basically, your score is calculated a lot basically off this, like what shape you're at in terms of your muscle fat analysis. So basically, if you've got more weight and body fat than you do have muscle mass, your score is going to be lower, okay? But guess what you need to do to get to that score a wee bit higher? Drop body fat, increase muscle mass, which is what we're going to help you do, okay? So ideally, the higher your in-body score, the better. And when we reassess your in-body score, once the gym reopens here, then we're going to be ideally looking for a higher number than what you've currently got. And your actions over the next 6 weeks are going to dictate whether you get to that or not. Okay, guys? So, next one, just slightly down from your in-body score, okay, you're going to see one that says visceral fat levels, okay? So, again, these are completely person dependent on what sort of number you get. But basically, your visceral fat levels are the amount of fat that's stored around your internal organs, liver, heart, kidneys, stuff like that. Obviously, for various diseases, you want to make sure that this number is not high. So, for us guys, any number to be concerned about in the visceral fat level is a 13 or above. So guys, if you are in this section, I don't want you to think that you're going to die tomorrow or anything, but it is a wee bit of a cause for concern if you're 13 or above, and we really need to focus on getting this number down because we obviously want to have less fat storage around our internal organs. Okay, so the next bit, guys, is going to be your recommended calorie intake. And again, this is going to vary, age, height, weight, all that kind of stuff is going to vary. So it'll give you a baseline number depending on what your in-body sheet is. So let's just try to make it simple, right? And I said your recommended calorie intake on your sheet is 2,000, okay? So this is taking into consideration that you're being active, okay? So we would say 10,000 steps a day, and this is for weight maintenance. So basically, for you to hit this number, okay, what you need to be doing is you need to be hitting 10,000 steps a day consecutively, not 3 or 4 days a week and then shitty 4,000 or 5,000 steps the other days. That would have to be 10,000 steps every day, and that would for your weight to remain the same the whole time. So, a couple of these are after different things in terms of results, guys. The majority of you guys are we're looking for fat loss. We're looking to get our body fat and our weight down, okay? So what we would need to do is then, well, initially, we need to make sure that we're hitting this 10,000 steps a day number, which is obviously super important, okay? And what we also need to do is if we are looking to drop weight, we don't want to be staying at this number. So for me, guys, what I would really love to do, seeing as everybody's really motivated January, February time, is that we're going to take an aggressive approach to this, okay? So I want you to take about a good fifth off what that would be, what your number is, okay? Just roughly. Now, if there's anything you're not 100% sure about, just send me or one of the lads a message and we'll clarify it on you. But for me, if someone was given this number of 2,000, what I would probably do is I would put them on about 1,650. Okay? That would be the kind of number I would want them to stay within. Okay? Now, don't worry if you're not going to hit that every single day, or you know maybe at the weekend you're going to have a couple of glasses of wine. All you need to simply do, folks, is you multiply that number by 7. I'm not even going to attempt to do that, okay? But we're going to say for talk's sake that that's like 12,000, okay? What that basically means is, guys, you have 12,000 calories over the course of the week. So if you know at the weekend you're going to have a couple of glasses of wine, what I would likely do is Monday to Friday, I would take your number from 1,650 down to 1,400, which means you've banked 250 calories a day for 5 days, which gives you an extra 1,250 calories for the weekend, which is definitely plenty for a couple of glasses of wine. And this is the way you want to look at it, guys. Don't be looking at bang on 1,650 every day. Work your calories around your lifestyle, folks, okay? But I know loads of you are going to be doing dry January anyway, so you won't need that bottle of wine over the weekend. So, guys, that's a general overview on the sheet. So just a quick recap again. So basically, muscle fat analysis, what we're ideally looking for is to get anybody that is in that C shape where their weight and their body fat is high and their muscle mass is low. We want to make sure that people are at least an I and then eventually transferring them to a D, because a D is where you're going to be looking toned, which a lot of you guys are asking us for in the goals that you have set for us. So D is the toned word, okay? So after that, then your obesity analysis, BMI, we don't care about too much. Body fat percentage, obviously it'll give you a breakdown on your sheet of where you are in terms of your body fat. If it's sitting at over where it should be, the focus is to get those body fat levels down. Less body fat, guys, the more toned you're gonna look, essentially, okay? Inbody score, obviously, the higher the better, okay? Visceral fat levels, anything of 13 or below, guys, we need to get a wee bit cautious about this and really get our eyes opened up that that number needs to be brought down. Okay, recommended calorie intake, as I said, the number that it'll give you will be you based on hitting 10,000 steps a day, and as well as that, keeping your weight the same. If your goal is weight loss, we need to take a number off this. We need to also ensure we're consecutively hitting this step amount. And remember that your calories don't need to be done over the day, they can be done over the course of the week. Now, before I jump off this, guys, if your goal is weight gain, okay, or you want to add a bit of size, then we obviously need to add to this number, okay? So if that's saying 2,000 and you're hitting 2,000 and your weight isn't going up, guess what that means? Weight has to come back up again. This will also be an eye-opener for some people, because I was chatting to Connell, I think it was, during the week, and he got a print out of his one, and I think his intake was like 2,700, and he said he was eating nowhere near that. So if you're looking to put a wee bit of size on, guys, build a wee bit of muscle, your recommended calorie intake needs to go up, not down, because building muscle, which I'll get into this in a wee second, and losing fat are two completely different things. Okay, so I hope you are still with me. We're nearly done, alright? So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to give you a brief overview on like body composition, okay? Which in turn just means how your body looks in terms of shape, size, things like that. So during the last lockdown, you guys sent us a load of goals through. I've actually got them on a whiteboard here in front of me, which is what I use to plan this. So what me and the lads did is we basically took all of those goals and we've separated them into sections. And throughout this lockdown, we're going to be delivering you content on these goals. So the main one then, body composition, was a really big one. So a lot of people were talking about weight loss and toning, right? Essentially, guys, you don't want to be looking for weight loss, because there will be some days you could come in here way dehydrated than the last day you did a weigh-in, and there could be a massive difference in your weight, anything between like 4 or 5 pounds. Like the food that you ate the day before could have an impact on your weight. So we're not looking for weight loss, guys. We're looking for fat loss, okay? Which is what your Inbody sheet will give you when you come in. You know yourselves, especially girls, your weight will fluctuate up and down, week to week, month to month. So we want to be focusing on getting fat loss, not weight loss, okay? Now, the other one was toning, guys, okay? So a lot of you guys, I went into that earlier on in the video, were saying, I'm happy with my weight loss, I just want to tone up more. Well, toning up, guys, is essentially getting the body fat down and the muscle mass up. That's how we tone up. So we develop muscle mass, guys, by doing resistance training. The work we do here in the gym with our nutrition, i.e. making sure that we're getting enough calories and protein in our diet, okay? If you're not tracking, guys, by the way, you should just turn this video off and pay no attention to it. If you're not keeping track of your calories, guys, none of this stuff that I went through is going to work. And I don't want you to get this big motivation rush and track for 4 weeks in January and then give it up. You need to be in this for the long game, guys, and willing to put in the effort if you want to see these changes, okay? So tracking calories is going to be essential no matter what your goal is. And again, not Monday to Friday, 7 days a week, 365, maybe 360 if you take out birthdays and Christmas days a year. It's super important, okay? So basically, fat loss and toning, guys, it's essentially getting our fat levels down and getting our muscle masses up. And it's as simple as that, almost to say, but obviously not to do, because there's a lot of things you need to do to make sure this happens. We're going to do it with your resistance training, with your protein intake, and as well as that, your sleep, which is super important. Your body does all of its work and repair while it's sleeping. If you're not getting enough sleeping, guys, it's not going to basically help you out with everything else that you're looking to do. So another one I've seen from quite a few girls was to build a bum, okay? So, guys, see, essentially building a bum, right? It's adding muscle. It's gaining muscle mass. So there's a lot of girls coming in here saying, oh, I want to build a bum, but they're hip thrusting 60 kilos and they're eating about 40 grams of protein a day. If you want to build a bum, girls, you're going to need to make sure that your protein levels are up there. Like, it's obviously going to be person dependent, but if you're not getting about 120 grams of protein a day, you're not going to build a bum. And you need to make sure that you're getting carbs into your diet as well. Carbs is not the enemy, girls, okay? So that's what you're going to need in terms of building a bum, in terms of hitting glutes multiple times a week. So if you come in here and you're doing the hip thrust program once a week, it's probably not enough. You're going to want to be trying to come in here and open gym, staying after a session rather than doing cardio. We'll give you glute focused stuff to do. That's how you want to be focusing your training if you're looking to build a bum, okay? So, another one, a good few of the lads have said they want to develop their upper body. So developing their upper body to me is building upper body strength, which you'll get through the programs if you come in here. And then obviously developing, I'm also finding, is giving your upper body shape. And essentially, guys, your upper body is going to get shape if you build muscle mass and you lose body fat mass. That's how your upper body is going to get some shape, okay? So, another one, people were saying that they want to drop measurements or a clothes size, right? You're probably thinking I'm getting a wee bit repetitive with saying this, but measurements come down when the body fat goes down. So if we focus on getting the body fat down by exercising regularly, staying active with our steps, and being smart with our nutrition, body fat is going to go down, as will your clothes size, as will your measurements. Okay, guys? So, another thing I want to kind of get into with you is just goal setting now based off this form, guys, alright? So, and what we're going to do is we're going to give you short-term and long-term goals. So the short-term, guys, is going to be the 6 weeks. It's from the 4th of January to 6 weeks later is going to be our short-term goals. So everybody is going to be different in your InBody printout, guys, in terms of like how high your body fat was, like what shape you're at here, what your visceral fat is, your InBody score. For me, guys, a couple of realistic targets. The first one is if your visceral fat levels are above 13, is to certainly get those down, because that's a health perspective and that needs to take priority, okay? Now, in terms of a realistic amount, everybody's going to be different, so I would just want you to focus on that number getting down. So the next time we do your scan, this number has to be down. That's the non-negotiable, okay? If, for instance, guys, that you are in the C shape, okay, from the muscle fat analysis, what I want your main target to be after the 6 weeks is just to see that we're starting to merge towards that eye. Weight and the body fat's going down and the muscle mass is going up, and then I'll be happy, okay? Body fat percentages, guys. A good target would maybe to be, like, this will be person dependent. If your body fat is higher, let's say 4 to 5% is a target to lose in this 6 weeks. And if your body fat is a wee bit lower, let's go anything between about 2 to 3% body fat in 6 weeks. Okay, and in terms of weight, guys, I would say most of you could lose anything up to at least half a stone doing this if the weights are to lose. So target-wise for the 6 weeks, guys, body fat obviously tailor it to how high your body fat is, and then weight, I'd say everybody could lose up to half a stone, no problem whatsoever, okay? What I also want you to be thinking about, guys, is the long term. I don't want you to be going all in with this 100 miles an hour, doing some sort of routine you know you're not going to stick out long term. I want you guys, and Ryan's going to go into this in a wee bit more detail next weekend, we just want you to build habits, and build habits you're going to stick to all year round. Because, guys, you could, in 6 weeks, start to take your shape from a C to an I or an I to a D, but then if it comes to March, April time, you just go back to doing everything you were doing before, the previous shape's just going to reform. So you need to be thinking long term, guys, okay? So anything you're going to set out to do now in January, unless it's maybe taking a month off drink, because we're not expecting you to do that for life, but anything else in terms of like increasing steps, tracking calories, making sure you're doing 4 gym sessions a week, all of this stuff, guys, is the long run, and it's the non-negotiables, okay? It's like getting changed in the morning or brushing your teeth at night. It has to be done all year round, okay? So look, this was a very long video. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. Any questions on this, guys? I'm going to be in the gym here for the next bit. Shoot me through a message, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Chat to you soon, folks.